anything. I don't know what to do.
You need a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk to our boss. Would you like to work a shift? Yes. Coffee appears. Picked up a coffee. We're gonna drop it off. Already dropped off their order. Cool. Okay, pick up. We can't drop off a second one, but we can bring it to this lovely table over here. Pick up another coffee. There you go. And then this guy is my favorite. He's eating alone. I'm also an introvert. I understand. Drop off one more coffee. Oh man, my feet are killing me. Oh, working at this cafe all day is exhausting. Whew. Alright, let's go talk to this guy. Hey, I'm done for the day. Okay, here's your pay for today. You made $6. $6? Wait, what? Okay, so we've got our cafe, and we're going to create a boss. I just named him boss. We're just going to pick a character. Now, the first thing we want him to do is to initiate the job. So, whoops, not transfer, show text. Would you like to work? Well, let's say work a shift. And then the player can choose yes or no. Okay, when they choose yes, first we're going to create a switch that basically lets the player be able to work, because you don't want them to be able to just serve coffee anytime. They need to be on the clock. So this is essentially like clocking in. So we'll just say switch can work is now on. Then we're going to create a variable, and this is just pay rate. So this is how much your character will get paid. And basically at the end of their shift, this is how much they'll make. I'm just trying to keep this as simple as possible. You can make it more complex, but let's just say this is a perfect world, and working in a cafe where you serve 6 coffees will pay $50. If only. Alright, and then the last thing we want to do is create another switch called work end. Or think of this as like you are off, you are not on the clock. We'll do that right under here. Work off. And that will be on. Or no, I'm sorry, off. So when you talk to him and say yes, can you work? Yes. How much you're going to get paid, and then work off, which means all of this just means you are now on the clock, and this is how much you're going to get paid. Simple. I hope. Still with me? Okay. Alright, so now he's accepted. We're going to create actually we're going to copy and paste just to keep it simple, and we're going to delete all this. So now he's going to say, like, alright, get to work, basically. Alright, go serve some coffees. And this will only activate if can work is on. So now while you're working, if you go talk to him, he's just going to say this over and over again. And we'll leave that for now. Now let's actually make our coffee object, which is going to go right here. I just made this little kitchen counter. You could also put like a little, if you want to put a cook here or a barista like walking around making stuff, this is where your coffees will appear. So this is how I did it just for this. If you go to all the way down here to tile set B, there's this little coffee image. You can obviously make your own art, but if you look, it will appear on the counter, which will also appear on the table. So we're going to use that same graphic just to, again, keep things simple. Now this will only be here if can work is on, which means if can work is not on, the coffee will just be invisible, which is what we want, because we want it to look like there's nothing there. So we're going to create a conditional branch, which is just an if this then do that type of thing, and create a new switch called has coffee, and that just is your player holding a coffee, and we're going to set it to off. So you want to make sure to do that, and then create an else branch. So if has coffee is off, then they will pick up the coffee. And you just write, you picked up, a coffee, and keep this to one line because your players are going to be in a hurry. They don't want to have to scroll through text every time they pick up a coffee. Then we're going to say control switch. Now we're going to say has coffee is on. Sorry about the background noise. The cicadas just started having a party, but whatever. It's the sound of summer, right? And then now what we're going to do to make the coffee disappear, quote unquote, is we're going to actually go here to page 2, set movement route, this event, or you could choose coffee. Make sure to name everything. Don't do this. All these are just like the characters that are on the screen. But anyway, this event, transparent on, which will just make it invisible. It's the easiest way to deal with this. Okay, so that your player will pick up the coffee if they do not already have one. Has coffee will be on, and the coffee will disappear from the counter. Next, we're going to do the same thing. Make sure to click here in else, because what it means is if coffee is on, then it'll go to this, which is what we want. So we're going to say has coffee is on, and we don't need to do an else branch for this one because this is all we're doing. So if your player is already holding a coffee, we want to give them a hint of what to do just in case. So just say take the coffee to the customer. That kind of is a gentle nudge to your player, like, hey, you're holding a coffee. And that should be it. Oh, one last thing, make sure below characters is set to same as character. Anytime that there's something on like this table, you can't pass through it, but having this event on top of it, same with this counter, you won't be able to actually like talk to it or touch it. So if you just say same as character, it'll allow you to do that. All right. And last, we're going to do the table. And what's cool about this is you make one table and you can just copy and paste it for all the other ones. So you just want this to be like your master table. And this is where your players are going to drop off their coffee and the customers will drink them and be happy. So first, the switch has coffee needs to be on because you need to have a coffee in order to drop it off. And also can work needs to be on because you don't want to be dropping off coffees if you're not working at this establishment. So once again, we're going to do a conditional branch, and has coffee is on. Create an else branch. So first, I like to just play a sound effect. You can use the ones that come with the engine. If you mess around with them, you can usually find something that works. I'm looking for something that sounds like a clink, so I'm gonna look at, do they have coin? Yeah, coin. What is this? That kind of sounds like a teapot glass kind of thing, whatever. Obviously, by the way, sound design can take you very far. I recommend, like, really treat your sound with respect. It'll help a lot. But anyway, okay, so we're gonna go to set movement route for coffee. This is why you name your stuff, because you can do this. And we're going to set transparent to off, which will make the coffee visible on the counter. So that means that when you drop off the coffee, this one will reappear and it'll be like ready to pick up for the next order. So that's what we're doing there. But also don't forget to turn off your switches. So has coffee is now off because we just dropped off the coffee. We're not holding it anymore. And then we're going to create a new variable. And this is coffee served. And this is just a way to keep track of how many coffees you've served, because depending on how many tables you have, like I have 6 right here, but you could end up having 30 if you want to go crazy. And basically you want to complete your work before you go talk to your boss and clock out. So I'm just going to leave that at 0. Oh, actually, sorry. We're going to add 1. So to whatever that number is, we're going to add 1. So every time you serve a coffee, this number will go up. And once it's at 6, then I can go talk to my boss because all the tables have been served. And last, we're going to just do a self switch A. That'll kind of just turn off all of this, which I'll explain in a second. But before we do that, we want to make sure that if the player does not have a coffee, so if has coffee is off, oops, I'm sorry. Oh my God. Oh, I just realized it's going to say the same message whether you've dropped off a coffee or whether you haven't dropped off a coffee. Okay, well, I've just run into a little dilemma there, but by doing this, nothing will happen, which is fine, because it'll just go to the end. So we're just gonna, just nothing will happen if you do not have a coffee, which is fine. Now we're going to create a new event page, and this time we're going to give it that T image again, because this is where we want the T to appear. This is basically like the customer has been served. So can work is on, but has coffee is not on. And also self switch A is on. This will actually be able to take care of that. So oops, sorry, we're gonna do a conditional branch again. If has coffee is off, you've already dropped off their order. You can also have customers say like, this is delicious or whatever, and you can individualize this for each table later on after you copy and paste it. But basically what this will do is if the player has a coffee, which they do, it'll play the sound, the coffee that's on the counter will become visible again, so you can pick up a new one. Has coffee will turn off because you just put it down. The amount of coffee served goes up by 1, and then self-switch A goes on, which brings you to this page where now over here in the image, you will see that the coffee will now appear on their table. And if you try to examine it again or drop off another coffee, it will say you've already dropped off their order. And the reason we do self-switch A is because as long as this is on, you can't drop off a second coffee. So that way you can't keep spamming the same table over and over again. You know, because we don't want the players to do that. Now, we're going to make one more page, just make a new event page, and we're just going to do work off, on, nothing will happen. Basically, that means if your player is not clocked in, then they can't interact with this table. And that's it. So, with all that, let's go ahead and test this out. Okay, so walk over here. Can't interact because we are not clocked in. We are work off right now. So we're going to talk to him. Would you like to work a shift? Yes. So you see this coffee just appeared over here. You picked up a coffee. Bring it over here. Crap. Oh, okay. Again, below characters needs to be changed to same as characters. I hate that so much. It drives me crazy. All right, let's try this one more time. You picked up a coffee. You've already dropped off their order. You've already dropped off their order. So even if I pick up another coffee, I can't drop it off. And these tables don't have this event yet, but here we go. So we're going to grab this table event, Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V. Whee! Okay, so there's one last thing we need to do now that we know that this works. So each one of these is going to be +1, +1, +1, which is a total of 6. So now we need to tell the boss, once we have completed 6 tables, we can clock out. We're done for the day. You know, want to go home and play video games and put our feet up. Okay, so we're going to do a new event page. Oops. Or you can copy and paste it, whatever. Now for this one, if can work is on because you're still working, but the variable of coffee served is equal to or greater than 6. You have completed your work. So he will say, oops, wow, done already? Okay, here's your pay for today. Okay, and now, here's a little thing you can do. So go to change gold, and you can do this by a number. So if you don't want to make a variable, you can just set this to whatever you want. But if you want it something that's going to change later on, you can say pay rate. Wait, what is pay rate? Okay, hold on. Okay, so we already set pay rate is 50. So you're going to get $50, but you need to make sure to tell the player that. So you made, and here's a cool thing you can do. If you have MZ, you can just hover over this, and this will appear. So we want to do \V bracket and then the number of whatever that variable is. So if we just look at the variable, oh, here, you can see it on the side, derp. So see how it says 0006? That means it is variable 6. So backslash, which is right above the shift key, make sure it's backslash, not forward slash, capital V, bracket, 0006. And what that's going to do is it's going to display that number. It says 0 right now because the game sets it to 50 once you talk to the boss. You can set that to automatically happen regardless. Now, another thing we can do if you want this to be a little fancy, put a $, and then before that, backslash C, bracket 3, I think is green. So what I'm doing right here is, this is also an MZ, but color index. These are all the different colors you can set the text to. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3. So 0 is always going to be white, and then all these colors are whatever. And you can actually customize that. I'll show you in a second. But so everything after this C3 thing is going to be green. So we want to set it back to white after that. So once again, backslash C, bracket 0, today. See how it's green now? Oh, but I have an extra space in there. So you made blank today. So we'll delete that. No, actually, we'll delete the space here. Cool. Okay. And just real quick to show you how to customize that before we continue, if you go to, actually you want to open your folder. So game, open folder, and if you go to image, system, right here on window, this is the colors that you can set your text to, and I'll eventually do a whole thing about Windows if you want to, but I'm just showing you what I know. Okay, and the last thing we're going to do is, this is all just your clocking out event on page 3. So we're going to say new, control switch, can work is off, so you no longer can work because you have now clocked out, and then also work off is on. So you are a free individual to go do whatever you want, and that's pretty much it. So now every time that this happens, it will reset, and then you can talk to him again. If you want to set ways to like prevent the player from just working over and over and over again, or just want to let them do whatever they want, you can also add a timer to make it more frantic. There's a lot that you can do. I'm just trying to keep this as simple as possible. All right, one final test to make sure everything works. So we're going to talk to our boss. Would you like to work a shift? Yes. Coffee appears. Picked up a coffee. We're going to drop it off. Already dropped off their order. Cool. Okay, pick up. We can't drop off a second one, but we can bring it to this lovely table over here. Pick up another coffee. There you go. And then this guy is my favorite. He's eating alone. I'm also an introvert, I understand. Drop off one more coffee. Oh man, my feet are killing me. Oh, working at this cafe all day is exhausting. Whew. Alright, let's go talk to this guy. Hey, I'm done for the day. Okay, here's your pay for today. You made $6. $6? Wait, what? Hold on. Why why did I make $6? Oh. Okay, so I said coffee served, which is 6. We actually want pay rate, which is 5. So, whoops. So I actually did get $50. It just said that I got 6 because I was looking at the wrong thing. And let me just speed through this real quick. Okay, done already. Here's your pay, $50. There we go. And you can see at the bottom there I have 50 gold. Or $50 or whatever. Another thing you can do if you don't want your players to be able to just constantly work and work and work and just like abuse the system to make a ton of money, what you can do is a simple day and night system where you just can't enter the cafe at night, or, you know, something like that. But I'll let you guys determine however you want to handle that. I hope that this was educational, because I have wanted to know how to do a cafe minigame, or like just give your character a job for so long. and I decided to just figure it out, and I'm so proud of myself. And you can do a lot of different things with this. It doesn't have to be a cafe. You could be restocking shelves or cleaning toilets or doing whatever, and it's going to work pretty much a similar way where you just count down to all of these. And one last thing I want to show, if wait, what just happened? Okay, one last thing. We need to reset the amount of coffees served. Okay, for some reason, the coffees are all reappearing, so let me just figure that out. I love when there's a simple solution for a problem. I figured it out. I just made one table for testing. So if you want to do just one table for testing to make things faster, just change on page 3, change the variable to 1 instead of 6 or whatever your number is. That way you just serve one table, make sure it works, and then whatever. I'm going to set this back to 6, and here's what happened. All I had to do was on page 3, set the trigger to parallel, which means when work is off, I'm going to set the control switch A to off. And parallel means it will happen right away. Don't do auto run because you won't be able to move. It freezes the game essentially. But what this does is it goes back to this, turns off cell switch A, which reverts this back to this page, which makes the teacup invisible. Okay. The joys of game dev. That took so long to figure out, but let's see. Would you like to work a shift? Yes. Here you go. Hazelnut cappuccino. Enjoy. Alright, I'm ready to go home. Done already? Here's your pay for today. $50. Woohoo! And everything resets. And would you like to work a shift? Yay! Everything reset. Can I do it one more time? Okay. Whew! We figured it out. You have no idea how long off camera it was taking me to figure that out. But there you go. I hope that you guys enjoy this, and I can't wait to see if you end up using this in your game. Please tag me. You can find me on itch.io under Ink Ribbon. I would love to see what kind of mechanics or flourishes or touches you put to it. But yeah, there you go. If you've ever wanted to do a job mini game in your RPG Maker game, this is an easy way to do it. Easy peasy squeezy lemon. And again, I don't remember if I already said this, but you can do this. It doesn't have to be a cafe. You could be cleaning toilets. You could be stocking shelves. You could be doing all sorts of different things. So let your imagination run wild. And if there's any other RPG Maker tutorials that you'd like to see, let me know down in the comments, and I will learn how to do it, because as you see, this is all done, no plugins, no craziness, it's all through events. Like, RPG Maker is really powerful if you know how to kind of navigate it and figure it out. But anyway, I'm going to end this video here. Go make some cafes, go serve some cappuccinos or some martinis or whatever, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.